Now, before I show you what card fell out, I just want to say that the feeling I was getting before the card fell was somber. I didn't necessarily feel that it was quite this upsetting. So I don't think that most of you are currently in this phase of actively being upset about something. I think you're just, how do I say it? It's like a transition. It's like a bittersweet type of transition. You have the Knight of Cups on the bottom of the deck, which has been coming up for a lot of signs somewhere in their reading this month. And I believe it's because with the eclipse that we just had in the last degree of Leo, there's a really big need to bring more love into our lives. And love can be manifested in so many forms, okay? So sometimes when we choose love, right, there comes some type of disappointment because when we choose ourselves, you know, sometimes there's backlash. Sometimes there's people that don't approve. But I really see you coming out of this strong. Because it's like, again, it feels bittersweet to me. Like, you know that this had to happen. And I think it's been planning, like I think you've been planning for this to happen for a long time. Or at least for the last couple of months. It's a transition that it feels like a pretty big life transition. This could be happening to you internally. Like it's like you just punched in a new address in your GPS and marked it as home. And you're happy that that's your new home. But there's a lot of memories and experiences and things like that attached to the old one. And even though you've been asking for this new home for a long time, you know, there's always a little sadness and disappointment when we leave something that we've loved and built around. But you know you're coming into something that's a lot bigger. And I think you know that you're coming into something that will rejuvenate you. So you're not going to be down for long, Aries, right? Because I think you're finally heeding the call. That's what I'm hearing. Heeding the call. Okay? You're ready to finally step into something that requires not knowing. And it just feels very new. And I don't think there's a lot of details around it yet. If there are details, again, like, I think that's not as important. But this is a feeling we're talking about. We're talking about a feeling. It's like you're putting both feet into the abyss. And you're not scared. You're not shook. You're just ready. All right, really quick, before I put the runes down. When this came up in your head, Six of Wands, I got eye on the prize. Okay? Over here, in the door that's not open for you with Judgment and the Three of Cups, I got life in review. Shit. I forgot what this was. When this card came out in the outcome, I started singing that song, Here Comes the Sun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay? So, shit. I don't remember what that was. But I need to get that out. Eye on the prize. Life in review. I'm going to have to check the audio. All right, Aries. Listen, overall right now, I'm feeling big time like the theme is victory. Victory all the way around. I think we've been talking for months now about how y'all have been cooking on something since your season, since it was your birthday. You've been waiting, you've been formulating things, you've been having plans in motion, and the time is now. The time is now. September feels like a huge transition. Again, whether this is happening internally, in your job, and I think for some of you that have established families and are married, things like that, this applies to you as well. Again, not in a love way, but in like what, you know what I mean, like a making moves to the family type of way. This feels really nice. Feels really nice. There's just like, there's an end to waiting. There's an end to having to have patience. There's an end to to having to hold your tongue, I said bite your teeth, which is like impossible. Like you finally stop chomping at the bit, and it just, poof, it just happened. It just happened for you. And if you look at these cards in general, you wouldn't think that necessarily. I mean, like we have the Nine of Wands in your heart, and we have the Ten of Swords in your advice. I mean, we have the Judgment, which isn't a bad card, but this feels really good. And yeah, wow, I feel really good about this. And you should feel good about yourself, Aries. Like, this is like the energy of like, you should really give yourself a pat on the back type thing, because I don't think everyone understands what you've been working towards or what you've been going through. But like, here comes the sun, like I was singing. Like, it's time, baby. It's time. Your overall energy this month is the Six of Pentacles. And I really think, more than anything, this is saying it's time for you to finally get your fair share. It's time for you to finally get paid your dues. You know what I mean? Like it's like your royalty check is coming in. All that work you did, all that time you put in, all that inner work, all that physical work, all that time that you had to wait and you had to wait and you had to yield and you had to yield to divine timing. It's coming, that check. That check is coming in this month, and it could be obviously a metaphorical check, or it could be a physical check. But I just feel like you're cashing in your chip this month. You've been holding it like a nest egg. Like, you've been holding it, and now it's time. That makes sense, right? Because we're halfway through. We're halfway through the zodiac. It's harvest season. Okay? The energy you're being asked to leave behind is the Chariot coupled with Victory. So it's like a double down victory message. And Temperance with the rune Joy. Now, I really love this, because I think for those of you that have been waiting to move, especially with a Sagittarius or a Cancer, but I'm feeling more so a Sagittarius, like, this month's the month. Like, if you've been waiting to move forward with them or move with them or change the dynamic of your bond, I think now is the time. Again, with the Victory rune tied to the Chariot, it's like you no longer have to wait for your victory. It is here. There's just no more waiting. There's just no more waiting. It's like maybe you've been patient on things to change at work, or you want to shorten your commute. Anything with movement. You've been doing a lot of moving, but not in the way that you wanted to, right? Maybe you've been having to bustle around, but you wanted to just work from home or whatever. It's like, whatever move you've been trying to make, the okie doke is coming finally this month. So you don't need to keep pushing for it. There's like no more full steam ahead. You're cresting. You know, it's like when the roller coaster gets to the top of the hill, you know, you don't have to use gas on the way down. You just get to ride it out. And with Joy and the Temperance, again, this is saying you no longer have to wait and be patient for your bliss. You don't have to wait and yeah, like you can just be happy right now. Like, there's no more waiting. There's no more healing that you need to do. And like, I say that aside from the fact that we all know healing is a continuous journey. But I just mean in general. Especially if this is medical. Like, you're moving on from that like phase where you're truly healing and recuperating yourself. But I just get this feeling of there's just no more reasons to have to like wait for your, again, time in the sun. Like, you're ready to get your shine on. You're ready to make, I feel as though, a dream come true. And other people may know about this, but I don't think for all of you like they do. Like, I think there's a good portion of you that people don't know how hard it has been for you to wait for this thing, for this break, for this opportunity to be happy. And it's not that we can't be happy all the time. It's just that sometimes, you know, things aren't working in our favor and we're just waiting for that block to get lifted. And you know, Aries, you're ruled by Mars, you're impatient. So the fact that you even had to wait for anything, you know, the fact that you knew that this required maturity and time was just you know, a test in your spiritual trust and love to begin with. And you have passed with flying colors. Flying colors. The door that's not open for you that was once closed. We have Judgment, clarified by the Three of Cups. And then we have the Rune Disruption. Now, I really wish I remember what I said when this Three of Cups first dropped. But the Three of Cups motivating Judgment to open. I remember I said in the beginning, life in review, right? So there's like, I think there's a disruption in your circle, right? The way that you've been spending your time, whether it be with your coworkers or your roommates or your house or your friends. There's some type of, again, because I think of this movement, this doorway that you've been waiting on to open, now it's opened, right? And it's going to disrupt. It's going to disrupt the way that you have had fun and related to the people around you, okay? Now, that's not a bad thing. But going back to the Five of Cups in the beginning, right, talking about bittersweet. And that's, I think, where that life in review came from. Because this transition feels really big to me. Like, if you're leaving a job for another job, again, this wouldn't be like fired. You've been at that company for a long time. You know, so you're, like, obviously happy to move on to have progress, but you're sad to leave the people behind. It's that kind of feeling. With the Judgment, again, there's this level here of, like, just, I'm picturing, like an old school film reel that's very grainy, like, that flips through photos, but not even a film reel, the kind that, like, flips through photos for you. And it's getting put on the projector screen, almost as if it's like a retirement party, a going away party, all that kind of stuff. It's like, wow, look at all that I've done up until now, and I made it here. And anytime you have that kind of transition, again, there's a little bit of this sadness, and that's where that Five of Cups came in. I don't see it here, so I'm happy. That means you're not, like I said in the beginning, you're not sticking to that energy, and I think that's really important, because you know ultimately that you earn this. That you earn this. But there's a bittersweet disruption in your, I want to say ecology, but I don't even think that's the right word. Ecosystem. It's like your environment, right? The environment that you've lived in, right? Ecosystem has been disrupted. And you're going to find new ways to have fun. You're going to find new people to be around. And again, it's a bittersweet thing. It's not something you're upset about. It's something that you've been asking for. And now it's here. Okay? Your energy for this month, in your head, we have the Six of Wands. In your heart, the Nine of Wands. And in your foundation, the Queen of Cups. The rune that we had here in the center was marriage. So, I had said eye on the prize, right? Full steam ahead. No, I said not full steam ahead because we're not gassing. Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. But there's this sense of pride here. And not an egoic type of pride, but like an I earned this pride. Again, this is the pat on the back. You know that you have broken through a barrier in the way that you relate to achieving what truly makes you happy. It makes you happy in a childlike way, like really lights up your eyes type of thing, okay? And with the Nine of Wands in your heart, again, there's a little bit of this bittersweetness. And you have the marriage rune here. I don't really think this is like an actual marriage that you'd be on guard with, right? And so who else had this in their heart space? One or two other signs had this month. I don't remember who, though. But this is, again, commitment. And I think you're a little hesitant to formulate this new commitment, again, because it's just new. It's just new. I think that you're just a little bit on guard because you're stepping into brand new territory. This doesn't seem like it's really going to present an issue to you. I think that you are just going to... I'm feeling as if, right, because you're leaving this environment. You're leaving this environment for a new one that you really earned. And I'm almost picturing you like backing away. Backing away to the door, but you're not turning your back to the people that are there. You're backing yourself out the door because you're afraid if you turn and look at them, you're going to see their face. You're going to, or like if you turn around and then you turn back, like, you know, you think that they're going to like change how they feel or something. You know, it's like, oh, if I turn my back on them all the way, they're going to say like, oh, good riddance. Or they're going to be sad and I don't want to see them sad. So maybe if I back out, they won't get upset. Or it's just something like that. It's something like just new territory, right? Stepping into new commitments, stepping into new commitments with yourself, new commitments with work, new commitments with your family. And anything that's new comes with a little bit of edginess because we don't know what to expect. I really don't think it's more than that. Because we have the Queen of Cups in your foundation. So what's motivating you this month is the pureness of your heart and the deep, almost silent, but it's a current. It's a silent current that runs deep within you that has told you that you have earned this. It's this deep, deep inner knowing. Right? You followed this plan, you formulated this plan, and you know this is what's best for you. Even though there's hesitation, because it's new. This is something that truly resonates deep, deep within you. And people may not see that. People may not see how this is really affecting you emotionally. Right? Because again, your mind knows this is a victory and you have earned this. But your heart's kind of like, oh, but I've been doing this for so long and I feel bad and whatever. And it's like, no. You know the truth. Right? The Queen of Cups knows her truth. She knows the emotional well, right? Literally a well. Like dip in and drink the waters of your soul. There's a current that you're moving on, that you're riding on, that is just much more expansive and it's not even cresting right now. It's like the wave is just beginning to form. Like the water's flat, like because you just crashed out the other wave and it pulled back, and now you're about to go at it again. And it's beautiful. It feels so good. I feel like I'm not saying enough words, but this is the feeling. There's a serenity here. There's a serenity here that I feel. And it's not calm before the storm. It's like, I just heard that song, Smooth Sailing. Smooth. I think is that Leon Bridges? I think, maybe. I don't know. Could be lying. Spirit's advice for you this month. 10 of Swords with the rune Luck, clarified by the Ace of Cups. So again, by choosing love, right? By choosing love. By choosing what really fulfills you, what rejuvenates you, what again makes you swell, makes your heart swell. Being in touch with your emotions. Allowing love to really course through your veins is what gives you the strength to let go mentally of any guilt for making this change for the people that you leave behind. Because you don't owe them anything, and I know ultimately you know that. Ultimately you know that. But again, it's a transition, so there's some level here of feeling bad. But it's like you're going from living in a state where you're always having to process a lot of things mentally and come at it from an intellectual standpoint and all that BS. And you're stepping into a new place that is a lot more stable and based on love. And a 10 and a 1 together is an 11. So that's really powerful. So I think what you're stepping into next, even if it's not with another person, it's very much bringing you into alignment with both your divine masculine and divine feminine, right? To create unity within yourself. And that's really the only way that we can have non-codependent, powerful relationships, again, with anybody, not just people that are romantic. Right? Because there's this equality. There's this equality that is coming to you. It's like this. It's like the balance. The checks and balances are going to get done this month. Okay, like everything is getting wrapped up. Your outcome, your most likely outcome at the end of September, we have the Sun and the 4 of Pentacles with the rune Success. So again, the Sun is such a beautiful, blissful card, and I already talked about that. And I really think that some of you are moving somewhere where it's sunny a lot more than where you are now, or warmer where you are now. I think you're just moving into a much happier time in your life, and I feel as though you're successfully securing more money or your financial future or that job that you've been wanting. There's this way that you've locked in your happiness. And again, not that we own our happiness, right? Situations don't ultimately make us happy, but I feel like you really locked it in. Whatever it is that you've been wanting, you know, to get your shine on with, I feel like you've truly successfully locked it in. It's because you exercised patience. You did something that people think Aries is not capable of. I feel like I should say more. Well, I feel as though I haven't said that many words, but I really think that's all there is to it. So let's give you an affirmation. I move through life knowing that I am safe, divinely protected, and guided. My consciousness is filled with healthy, positive, loving thoughts that reflect themselves in my experiences. So know that all these moves you're making, no matter who you leave behind, what you leave behind, do not feel guilty, do not feel shame, and know that spirit in following your heart, like listening to your heart and following your spirit, will never, ever, ever lead you astray. Aries, I hope you found that helpful, and it has been my pleasure to deliver you this reading, and I'll be back soon with your love readings. Peace.